My name is Karla Mendoza. I was born in Lima, Peru, and I have been living in the United States for almost 17 years now. My dad was the first one to move from Peru to Washington, D.C. Both of my parents decided that it was time for him just to move to a different country just because the economy was so terrible in Peru. Both of my parents gave up their profession just so that they could pretty much feed my sister and I. I remember the last year that both of my parents were in Peru. I remember my dad and my mom going to sleep without eating because my sister and I were eating, but not them. I remember multiple times just my sister and I wanted to eat a banana and they couldn't afford it. And I remember we bought 2 bananas and we split it in 4. And I think that was the day when I realized, oh wow, we don't know how we're gonna survive one more day, you know? In the process of moving here, my family became undocumented. As a child, I didn't really understand what was happening. I just knew that that meant that we really couldn't leave the country because if we left, we wouldn't be able to come back. When I was 13 years old, one of my uncles who was very close to our family passed away, and we realized that we couldn't go back to see him or our family. And so I think that was maybe one of the first times that I realized, oh, something is different about my life. I just don't really know what. As I got older, I realized that I couldn't drive, I can't go to school, and I can't find a job, and I had no reason not to, besides the fact that I was undocumented. With everything that was going on in the country, I just remember thinking my life could change within hours. My life could change within days. I don't know what's going to happen to my family, what's going to happen to my sister, to me. In 2016, we made a decision that my mom was going to move back to Peru. She moved on April 8th, 2016 to take care of my grandma just because there just wasn't anyone back home who would be able to take care of her. I would say that was probably one of the hardest things that I've experienced, was just saying goodbye to my mom and knowing that I don't know when I'll see her again. If I leave, I can't come back, and she can't come back. So I remember sitting at home that day, and I think it was my family, my dad and my sister and I, and we just sat there and we were watching mindless television, and I just remember having this terrible headache and thinking, I don't know when I'll see my mom again. I would say if I had to summarize my story or my life in any way, to me it would always be that God is faithful to me and to my family. He has been a friend. He has been our brother. He has been my grandparents, because I don't remember when was the last time I hugged my grandma. He has been my cousins. He has been everyone to me.